Hey Flosstube, this is Katie the Stash Queen coming to you on Tuesday, February the 6th. Sorry I did not make the video yesterday between family issues and technical issues and pain issues and lighting issues and just issues. It wasn't happening. So I am here today with my weekly plans. I didn't get any stitching done yesterday simply because by the time I gave up on doing the video, I was just done for the day. So I'm going to be showing you everything from Monday through Sunday like usual. Hopefully next Monday won't be as technically problematic because I have plans for next Tuesday with Kate, the Queen of Starts. I know I mentioned last week that I was going to do a video with the winners from the giveaway. But I didn't. I have the winners for the giveaway at the end of this video, so I will get to that at the end. Other than that, I had a very busy stitchy week. Got a lot of stuff done. This week looks like it's going to be a lot less whips. So hopefully I'll be able to get, some good work done on some of my stuff. The Olympics start on Friday, which also means we have our Stitch Mania 2018 Winter Olympics Challenge starting Friday, which is going to be fun. I'll get to that. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. First off, we'll start off with the Q&A. Rory Rants asked, this has probably been asked a zillion times, and I apologize for that, but do you keep all of your whips in Ziploc bags? Do you kit stuff right into the project bag? One, yes, I do keep all of my whips in Ziploc bags, except for a couple of Doctor Who whips that I have in a Doctor Who fabric bag. But everything else is put into, and sorry for the lighting, we might be having thunder snow later. The whips are put in Ziploc bags. I have spent a lot of money on patterns and fabrics and flosses and embellishments and all that, that I don't put the money into the project bags because Ziploc bags work just fine. As far as kitting them is concerned, I work from a master set of DMC and Krennic. But if it has other specialty flosses in it from Weeks or Gast or anything else like that, I will put that into the plastic bag. But my DMC are all in boxes next to my stitchy spot. My Krennic is in the 4 little bullet cases next to my stitchy spot. But everything else, yes, would get put into their project bag if I needed some sort of specialty floss. Let me see. And if the pattern is small enough, like a Mirabilia, a lot of Lizzie Kate's, that sort of thing, I will put that in the project bag too, instead of putting it in one of my gargantuan binders of patterns. Let's see here. Pat Luck, something, sorry, asked, hi, I just ordered a Mill Hill Christmas decoration on paper canvas. Any tips, as I know you enjoy stitching them? One, enjoy it. Two, paper will rip. It is very sturdy paper, but if you aren't careful, it will rip and it will bend. So you just need to make sure you're careful with it while you're stitching. You can stitch I don't stitch like super slow or anything like that when I'm stitching with it. Just be mindful. I always do beading at the end, personally, because it's just easier with all of it's a small space, easier to do it that way. And my other recommendation, in regards to the beads, most Mill Hill kits will come with 1, 2, sometimes 3 bags of beads. And on the instructions for for the stitching, let me see if I can grab one without showing a pattern off. Let's see. Okay, so this one, I'm going to use this. This is one of the patterns I'll show you later. It's the Christmas Cheer Santa by Jim Shore. It tells you all of the flosses. They do have the DMC floss number, so you can compare if you're not entirely sure which is burgundy and which is medium red or whatever else. But down here on the beads, they tell you like which ones are in which bag. So it explains there on the bottom. Some people like to separate the beads out before they bead. That would drive me insane. I just take one bag at a time and do all of the beads in one bag, and then I will do the beads in another bag. It's just way easier, if you ask me. Other than that, have fun. Hopefully that gives you some good tips. Let's see here. Rafaela Galesi said, "Hi, Katie. I could not get the name of the fabric you're using for the project Around the World in 80 Stitches. Can you please tell me?" It is Lily Pad from Under the Sea Fabrics. I don't know if it's one she makes anymore. It's one I had in my stash for a long time. I have a lot of fabrics from both Stephanie and Leslie that, because I've been part of their Fabric of the Month for years, they may not make it anymore, or it may have been a one-off for something, but it's Lily Pad. Like as in frogs. Allison Stitches asked, have you been able to work in your craft room? No. No. I want to. I have other things I need to work on in the house when I have energy to do it. I have my little space around here that I can work in pretty well, but that's not much. Just one day it will happen, hopefully. Nicole Hyde said, who sells the House of Embroidery threads? It looks interesting. It is a subscription service through Stitchybox, and I will put a link to it below because there is 2 different kinds of silks, and I think a cotton she just started for the threads of the month. They're really pretty. I haven't stitched with them yet, but I have a few projects in mind later on in the year that I may try it with. So, but yes, it's through Stitchybox. And then Liana H, sorry, I need new glasses. I have a tiny question. There's music in your Whip Parade video 131 starting around minute 41. Can you tell me what it is? It's so beautiful. It is the end of, I had to go back and listen. It's the end of the epilogue from the La La Land soundtrack. Most of my music that I was using in my Whip video and my Finish video were from La La Land. The epilogue is about 7 minutes long on the soundtrack. The bit that you called up on minute 41 is like close to the end of that 7-minute song. So, La La Land soundtrack. All right, that's all the questions I have for this week. If I missed your question or if you have any other questions, please feel free to put it in the comments below and I will get to it next week. All right, last week was a busy week. I did not get as much of my sales done as I wanted to, but considering the amount of whips I got through, that's okay. All right, first off, I did work on the night of the State of the Union. I needed some fabric to stab. So I worked on my Guardians of Notre Dame by Ingleside Imaginarium, and this is being done on 32 Belfast in Cosmos from Under the Sea Fabrics. And my minder's a little Paris needle minder from No Name Needle Minders. So this is the January frame. I finished the gast in it, and I started working on the DMC stone around it. So then once I get that done, I can fill in January's Guardian, and February's is also awesome. So I'm hopefully going to get some good progress on this week. Then I also got started the February block for the 2018 Cross Stitcher Magazine Stitch Along. So here we are at this one. There's a January block, and I started February next to it because I told you instead of going down, I was going to go across. So it'll be January, February, March, and then 4 rows of 3 months apiece. So started February, got the first color in the border stitched in there. And this is being done on 32 Belfast and Avalon from Under the Sea Fabrics. And my minder is a little Crown Needle Minder from No Name Needle Minders. Yay! Those were the only sales that I worked on this past week. Like I said, my focus this week was primarily on getting my whips, my whip count that I have in my what I'm working on down. Not that I finished anything, but I got a lot of work done. Year of starts. I did get all of my starts done for this past week. First one was Charming Santa by Mill Hill. This is for a New Year, New Start. And here is where he is at this point. Actually, it goes that way. Sorry. Told you guys. It's only 8:41 in the morning and it's already been a long, long day. Hubby had to go out of town. Kids were kids this morning. So here's where we are at this point. I started working on his beard. He's got a really big beard. So yeah. Then, let's get this in here. Gotta get these in here like I told you guys I always do. Then the next one I started was the last of the Glendon Place Tour de Designer pieces, and it was Nativity by Glendon Place. And I am doing this one on 28 Cashel in Evergreen from Under the Sea Fabrics. And here, working on the donkey's ears there in the middle. And then my minder's little angel needle minder from Brenda's Minders and More. But back here, this is much truer to color. It is this beautiful green, gorgeous, stunning. I love it. So yeah. I'll put that one up. The next one was my Wednesday personal choice, which really is any Mill Hill kits I didn't attach to other places for the rest of the year, pretty much. See, I got the pattern in here. I'm not going to show you the pattern, but it's that. So that I keep the pattern in here. It just makes it easier to keep track of. Let's see here. It was over there. Cozy Christmas Santa by Jim Shore from Mill Hill. And here's where I got to on him. Got a couple of colors in. And my minder's little star needle minder from Brenda's Minders and More. Then for the Princess Stitch Along for February, the theme is sci-fi, and I'm including fantasy personally, so sci-fi fantasy princesses. And the first one I worked on was Mab by Heaven and Earth Designs, Queen Mab from Shakespeare. She's a whole fairy queen. And I am doing this one on 32 count white Jobelin, 1/1 full cross. Let me see. Here's what I was able to get done. Lots of little tiny stitches. And my minder is a little Queen of Hearts needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. So yeah. This part, see, I'll show you. You see all that color or that pattern in the background? That's what I was working on. Because then I can fill in a lot more. And it was a dominant color on that page, so that was the route I decided to go. Then for the Halloween all year long stitch along, the theme is ghosts for February, and I worked on an electronic pattern. I'll put a link to it below. It was the Black Hat Society from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And I am doing this on 28 count even weave in Velvet Sky from Fiberlicious for Stitchy Box. It's a Stitchy Box exclusive. Here is where I was able to get to on that one. Started with the theme is ghosts, but I got 2 witches hat, a bat, and the start of the outline. Oh well. But there's a ghost in it. And then my minder is one of the little Frosted Pumpkin Halloween needle minders. Again, color back here is truer to the color. It's so pretty. I don't know when purple became a Halloween color, but I'm glad it did. Then for the 50 Nifty United States, this month is State Flag. And I am doing, first one was All Things Bright and Beautiful by Lizzie Kate. And I think I mentioned I'm going to convert that flag into the Texas flag when I get to it. And here is where I got to on this one. This is on 32 Lugana in Mercedes from Picture This Plus. And my minder is an Astros Girl needle minder from from No Name Needle Minders. So I got the 2 little yellow birds done. This is an example I can show for the earlier question. I had to sub out all of the flosses because I only had what I had. So I went through my stash and subbed out flosses. But here are all the flosses that I'm going to be using that are the specialty flosses. Weeks, Gast, Classic Colorworks, whatever else. They're all kept in here, so I don't have to keep track of them or lose them to another project. Yes, that means that are some, when I wasn't stitching from stash, and I would buy new specialty flosses for several projects, there are certain colors that I have in several different bags, but that's okay. I don't worry so much about dye lot for DMC as I do for specialty flosses. And then the last of the new starts this past week was the Christmas Sal, and the theme for February is Christmas trees. So I started on the Christmas Cheer Santa by Jim Shore from Mill Hill. There's his little Christmas tree that he is holding. And here's where I got to on him. Got worked on some of his jacket and little gloves right there. And the minder says, Peace, Love, and Santa from No Name Needle Minders. So those were my starts for the week. We didn't have any special Mania Sals this past week. The temperature sal I am still working on. I am just woefully behind on it. Luckily, I have the pattern. I have all of the temperatures. I just need to sit down and do it. And that this week, because of what my week looks like for the rest of the month, or for the rest of this week, just stitchy wise, I think I should be able to get updated with that. Didn't do any more heart drops this week. Again, hopefully that'll get done. I did work on 21 whips though. 21 whips. All right. So let's go through this whip-a-palooza of sorts. The first one that I worked on was Cross Stitch Lover, and this is from Just Cross Stitch February 2016. And I am doing this one, let's get it off here, on 32 Belfast in Dreamsicle from Under the Sea Fabrics. So I was able to, let's get this, finish this little line of specialty stitches and then start counted, and then even weave over here, and a couple more specialty stitches right there. And my minder is Cross Stitch When You Want to Stab Something 1,000 Times. Felt that a couple of times this week for different reasons. Then the next one that I worked on was from the 2014 Just Cross Stitch Ornament issue. And it's this one right here. It's Stained Glass Mistletoe from Ink Circles. And I'm doing this one on just a green scrap fabric that I had in my stash. And here is where I am on it at this point. I'm just more working on the black outlines so that I can go in and fill in the colors once the black outlines are done. So I got more black outline. And my minder is a little Nutcracker needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. And you might notice, I'll say this before I go to the next one, although I tell you what whips are for certain days, like why I'm pulling them for which days and whatnot, I don't necessarily work on them during those days. What I have done is just have this big pile of whips and just picked up whatever's next on the pile, and so sometimes they're out of order. But they get worked on approximately when they were due. They're all pulled for their birthday, you know. The next one is Shamina, and this is by Blackwork Journey from Just Cross Stitch March, April 2016. And this is being done on 28 count antique white Jobelin. And here is where I am. I worked primarily on this cross stitch part up here. I got that little flower part done and outlined, and then worked on some of these vines. And my minder is a little Belle Mickey ears from Delicious Threads. Let's see. Come over here. Oh, it's not that one. Then, the next piece that I worked on was Swirly Trees Noel, which is this one right here, by Waxing Moon Designs. And I am doing this one on 32 Lugana Imperfect Pine from Silk Weavers. And I'm using flosses from Mo's Sale. So I worked more on trees. Not more on, but I worked some more on the tree. And my needle minder says Define Naughty from Nifty Needle Nannies. Then the next one is an electronic pattern. So like always, I will put a link to it below. It is Small World by Pedal Pusher. And here's where I got to. I added some more little blocks over here. It is on 32 count linen in natural and white petite point by Witchelt that I got from a Stitchy box. And my minder is from Nifty Needle Nannies. The designer follows me on Instagram, and I posted my Instagram picture, and she commented, I was scrolling by and thought, oh, that's cute, then realized, oh wait, that's mine. That amused me greatly. Okay, let's get these over here. Next is another electronic pattern. It's the Quotes to Live By Stitch Along from Stitch Rovia. And I am doing this one on 32 Lugana in Mercedes from Picture This Plus. And I worked some more on the green for the center quote. So that's going to be a P right over here. And my minder says, strong, stay strong, make them wonder how you're still standing. And that is from No Name Needle Minders. Then, that's 6. The 7th that I worked on was Tamara by Blackwork Journey for Cross Stitch Needlework, September 2015. I love this piece. It's so pretty. And I am doing this one on 32 Lugana in Bashful from Picture This Plus. It's a pretty pale pink. Let's see if I can hold it back here so you can kind of see the color first. Yeah, that's pretty close to true color. But here is where I got to. I filled in, I only had that little center one filled in with the red color, so I filled in the rest of those with the red and then started the next outline around it. So pretty. And the minder is from Gina's Unique Boutique. I love black work because it's so delicate and you can see it coming to life quickly. I'm not a huge backstitching fan, no matter how much I like the effect of backstitch, but black work is different because usually the reason I don't like backstitching so much is because you've done so much already with the stitching, like the regular cross stitching and all of that other stuff, that backstitching is just another step. I love the pieces. I will do them. I try to do backstitching as I go anymore. But with black work, you're really only doing this backstitching or the black work stitching. So it comes together a whole lot faster. And it's just so pretty and delicate. And I'm repeating myself because I haven't had enough caffeine. And it's a day. Then the 8th pattern that I worked on was the Cookies Sampler, which is from World of Cross Stitching issue number 223. And I am doing this one on 32 Joblin in Autumn from Under the Sea Fabrics. Really just worked more on the white around the cookies for Santa because there's a lot of white in that little frame. And my minder is a little recipe card needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. And then the next one is a electronic pattern. And it is the Summer Sampler from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And I am doing this one on 32 Belfast and Anthea from Under the Sea Fabrics. And I'm using flosses from Jawdery Designs for the border. I think it's called Jaybird. I'll have to look real quick. But I finished the second box and started working on the third. Like the other samplers I've done for this series, I'm trying to get all the boxes done first. But I love this fabric. It's so bright and fun and colorful. And my minder is one of the little Frosted Pumpkin needle minders. Let's see, what floss is this? Island J is what the floss is from Jawdery Designs. Then the next one is Butterfly Elf by Soda Stitch. And I'm working on this little section right here in the middle because that's the middle of the pattern. Those flowers right there. Haven't really gotten to the butterflies yet, but will eventually. And this is being done on 32 Belfast in Nymph from Under the Sea Fabrics. Yes, this fabric is huge just because I didn't cut it down at the time. I've gotten better with cutting things down. So there is those flowers in the middle. I got some more of that color done. My minder's a little butterfly needle minder from No Name Needle Minders. Color back here, again, is more reflective of the fabric color. Like I said, it's a gray, gloomy day here in the 30s after being warmer than that last week. And we're supposed to get thunderstorms today, and the temperature's supposed to drop below freezing. So we'll see if we get thunder snow. And yet they say climate change isn't a real thing. Then the next one is the Think Happy, Be Happy row from Bent Creek. And I am doing this one on 32 Lugana in pewter from Picture This Plus. And I'm using flosses from Mo's sale for this. Let me get this open. So I finished the T, and then I started on the H. My minder's a little Joy needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. Those are both flosses from Mo's sale. That's 11. 10 more to go. Okay, let's see here. The next one, in there, was Do Small Things with Great Love from Lizzie Kate. And I am doing this one on 28 Lamb's Wool Linen by Witchelt. So I did this color because I needed the happy color that day. And my minder is a little Love Heart Needle Minder from Brenda's Minders and More. Scroll down a little. Next came from Joan Elliott's Cross Stitch Sentiments and Sayings book. And it's My Mess, which is this one right here, and I love it. And I am doing this one on a what am I doing this one on? Sorry, skipped to another Joan Elliott and got me confused. 32 Belfast Solo Die from Silk Weavers. So I got that darker pink done around her shirt and into her pants, and I started on a green because I wanted a different color right here in her sleeves. The minder says, I'm not a pack rat, I'm a collector, from No Name Needle Minders. Again, more realistic back here. And then the next one is Prairie Santa by Sandra Cozzolino for Wilmer Crafts. It's this guy right down here. And here is where I got to on him. More of that same brown color that's in his outfit. And my minder says, Deck the Halls with Boughs of Holly from No Name Needle Minders. That is 14. Told you guys I worked on a lot of stuff this week. Saturday and Sunday were pretty much just stitching days for me. Only got to grab these. Ah! Sorry for the sound effects. All right, the next one is from Joan Elliott's Bewitching Cross Stitch book. And it's the Chinese Phoenix, which is that one right here. And I'm doing this one on 28 Jobelin in Stardust from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. So I started on a second lighter color for those wings. And my minder is a little Mulan needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. Remember, these get 18 minutes of time that I work on them. 18 minutes may not seem like a lot of time, and it's not a ton of progress, but it's still progress. And as I always say, every stitch you do is one stitch closer to the end. Then the next one that I worked on was the Eastern Star Santa by Sandra Cozzolino for Mill Hill. And here's where I got to on him. I finished the dark night sky color, and then I started filling in the green on his coat. My minder says Queen of Everything from No Name Needle Minders. Can see where the beads are going to go up here. Like, oh look, there's the star. Then the next one is Moonflowers from Mirabilia. And this is being done on 32 Joblin in Pandora from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. I had a hard time working on this one because I was watching the Super Bowl while I was working on it. Fly, Eagles, Fly, even though I'm not an Eagles fan except for Sunday. So here's where we are at this point. It's kind of hard to tell with the coloring, I know, because the camera's fading in and out. And my minder is a little crown needle minder that I got from Down Sunshine Lane. Back here, the color is more true to form. But I worked on a turquoise in her dress. As the color keeps changing. Sorry. Then the next piece, affectionately referred to as It's Not a Heart by our dear friend Jessie Marie. Around the World in 80 Stitches by Papillon Creations. And I'm doing this on 32 Belfast in Lily Pad from Under the Sea Fabrics. And I'm using flosses from Jottery Designs. It's actually a heart. And then I started doing the little flower. Those are partial eyelets in a red color that'll go around certain parts of the heart before I fill the rest of the heart in. But it's a heart now. Yes, it's a heart. Bad, bad people. And then my minder is a little hot air balloon needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. So I was happy to get to the heart and start working on specialty stitches. And eyelets I can do pretty well, so. And I like the color that I chose. That's the one cool thing about this piece. I think I've mentioned it before. I'm mentioning it again. You have the pattern, and it's full of specialty stitches. But you're told what color, like you're not told you need DMC, 310 and DMC 653, whatever. I'm just making up numbers. It's the one thing I don't keep in my head is DMC colors. But it tells you need a dark green, a medium green, and a light green. You need 4 flower colors. You need a silver, but it lets you pick out what you want to use. So everyone's is a little bit different instead of it all being everyone's using the exact same color palette. So that was fun to be able to just to pick out whatever colors I wanted. All right, next came from the 2016 Just Cross Stitch Ornament issue. And it is this one down here. It's Mistletoe. It's an Italian piece. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the word or the name. And I am doing this one on 32 count white Joblin. And I'm using silks from Dinky Dyes. It's kind of hard to tell, but this is actually a burgundy to red variegated silk. So I finished the curves around here and started in the next corner. See if you can see it a little bit better. Probably not, but you can see some of the variegation there. Let's see if I'm trying to get it to focus a little bit better. But yeah, so it's a burgundy colored silk. Oh, hello. Lighting is awful. Come on, lighting. Let's go up. There we go. Sorry. Then the next one that I worked on, this is number 20, Flames of Desire by Heaven and Earth Designs. And this one is being done on 32 Belfast in Mayan Apocalypse from Under the Sea Fabrics. It's the bold red on red. I started working over here. I want to take a break on the red on red. And so I started working on the moon that outlines over here with the Krennic. It's another one with a lot of Krennic. My minder's a little girl needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. There's only a little bit left in the dress this time around, but when I picked it up, I just was not, ooh, whoa, hello. Let me see if I can fix that lighting just a little bit. Sorry. Maybe not this video today. But I'm not going to bother trying to fix it because, oh my goodness, it's a day. But my eyes were not feeling so great the day that I picked this one up, and I didn't want to go find the little individual onesie-twosie confetti pieces that day, so I worked on something that was much easier to tell. And then the last one that I worked on this week is an electronic pattern. It's the Sarah Davis Clonmel 1824 Reproduction Sampler by Stitchy Box. And I'm doing this on 32 Murano and Lightning Storm from Jottery Designs. So I finished out this light blue color that I had remaining, and then I started this dark blue line. And I'm doing it in the called for NPI silks. My minder's a little crown needle minder from No Name Needle Minders. And I realized I did the wrong bee here, but I'm not changing it. It's fine. So that is what I worked on this past week. But I think I only have 2 holdovers left, so I made a lot of progress. So I had like 10 holdovers and then a ton of whips last week, so I am happy with my progress. Let's put this in here, actually. All right, so upcoming week we have what? I made myself a note that makes no sense. All right, for yesterday, but I'm doing it today. We started for the monthly theme for February is Foodie February, so work on any piece related to food. And my first one is going to be Apple Harvest by Mill Hill, because apple and strawberry, I think that's what that's supposed to be. Then, oh, I should go back and say I'm going to hopefully work on all the Sal's this week. We'll get back to that. All right. Then today's new start, we start the new month of Tour de Designers, which for February is the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And I am going to, it's an electronic pattern. It's going to be a very Merry Christmas Town. And I am going to do this on 28 Jobelin in Frozen Fractals from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And my minder is a little Christmas Frosted Pumpkin needle minder. Then for Wednesday, it is a free choice day. So let's get this close. So I'm going to work on the Desert Santa by Sandra Cozzolino from Mill Hill. My minder's little crystal needle minder from Brenda's Minders and More. Then on Thursday is the Princess Stitch Along, again, Sci-Fi Princesses. And I am going to start May the 4th Be With You from Tilton Crafts, because it's Leia. And I am going to do this on 28 Count Antique White Jobelin, and I'm going to do it 1/1 full cross like I've been doing the other ones this year. And my minder's a little blingy Leia from Nifty Needle Nannies. Then for the 9th, which is Friday, that's the Halloween All Year Round. I can't show you the pattern because it was a freebie from Wee Little Stitches in their newsletter. But it's going to be from Wee Little Stitches. It's called Boo. It has the word Boo and a little couple. And I'm going to drive myself crazy by using 16 count Black Ada that I got from a Stitchy box. I think the Halloween Countdown box, one of them. And my minder is this little pumpkin needle minder from Down Sunshine Lane. Then for 50 Nifty United States, again, it's your state flag, and be related to that however you want to. I have decided that I will be starting Flag Day by Ink Circles, because flags, red, white, and blue, stars, you know. And my minder right here is from Down Sunshine Lane. But I'm going to do this on 28 Count Jobelin in Liberty from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. I've used it before, so there's a piece cut out, but I will be using this fabric. And I decided I am going to use the vintage newsprint floss from Dinky Dyes that was an Stitchy Box exclusive, because I didn't have the Gloriana, and I think that'll be a good one. Let's get this back folded up. Yeah, that was probably one of the easiest fabrics to pick out. Where's my Liberty? There's my Liberty. Then the last new start that I have scheduled for this week is Sunday, and that is the Christmas All Year Round, and it's Christmas trees, like I said. So I'm going to start by Sandra Cozzolino for Janlin. This guy down here, he's the Greenkeeper Santa. Little Christmas tree. And my minder's a little penguin needle minder from Brenda's Minders and More. So yeah, those are my new starts planned for this week. Oh my god. People. Ah! A little bit better. Kind of, sort of, maybe. Not my best video. But at least there's a video. Alright, for other Mania stitch-alongs this week. Yesterday, but I'm going to do it today, was full coverage on the 5th, which is where you work on any full coverage piece. Mine's an electronic pattern. It is the Tree of Life from Heaven and Earth Designs. I'll put a link to it below. But here's where I am on it at this point. I'm doing this on 20 count white Lugana. Is it full cross? Yeah, no. Yes. 1/1 full cross. And my minder is a Heaven and Earth Designs needle minder from Heaven and Earth Designs. Then on Friday, we start our 2-week-long, 15 days, how long it is, Winter Olympics challenge. In 2016, we did a Summer Olympics challenge, which was a lot of fun. For those of you who aren't familiar with Stitch Mania challenges, what we do is it's a different theme every day related to that challenge somehow. So all of the days, all of the challenges for the Winter Olympics challenge are going to be related to the Winter Olympics. So on Friday, February the 9th, the theme is opening ceremony. And the idea is to work on a new start or your newest start. My start for that day is supposed to be Boo from Wee Little Stitches. So I'll add an extra 30 minutes to that. So work on it for an hour. Who knows? Maybe I'll finish it. But yeah, all these Mania Sals, which I forgot to mention, I work on them for 30 minutes. Even if I have them for other reasons, they get an additional 30 minutes for that stitch along. Then on February 10th, the theme is Winter Olympics, and you're supposed to stitch on any winter-related piece. So I am going to be working on Snowdrop Fairy by Joan Elliott. And she is being done on 28 Lugana in Midsummer Night from Under the Sea Fabrics. Don't have much done on her at this point, but there's where she is. My minder is a little blingy needle minder from Gina's Unique Boutique. So she'll get 30 minutes on that day. And then on Sunday, February the 11th, the theme is South Korea, since that's where the Olympics are being held. And you stitch on any Korean piece or any piece that you can relate to South Korea, like its flag or something like that. I'm actually going to work on Butterfly Elf again. So I just showed it to you as a whip that I worked on this past week. I'm going to go ahead and keep it, and I'm going to work on it an additional 30 minutes on Sunday. And then the rest of the challenges I will tell you as we get to them. But I'm excited about this. I like these challenge events. Most people seem to enjoy them. This is the first challenge event like this for the year. We have this one. We have the Coffee Stitcher birthday countdown in April. We have my birthday countdown, the Stash Queen birthday countdown in May. We have in October, November, we have the 2 weeks leading up to the midterm elections in the United States. Not that we're picking sides. We do things on both sides of the aisle, no matter our personal political persuasion. And then we have 12 days of Stitchmas in December going into January. And I think that's all the challenges we have this year. I could be wrong, but I think that's it. But these have been proven to be really popular. People like figuring out how to get pieces into the stories, and or make stories for pieces to work into themes, and it's just fun. And so hopefully, if this is your first challenge with this, yay! Okay, so whips for the week. I only have 2 holdovers left. That's the Nordic Santa #1 and Fairy Tale, so I should get those done this week, and you'll see them next week. So for February 5th, I had 3 3 whips. The first one comes from Joan Elliott's Christmas Cross-Stitch Treasures book. And it is the Bear Roly-Poly, which is this guy right over here. And I am doing him on 14 count perforated plastic. So that's where I am at this point. And my minder is a little stocking needle minder from Brenda's Minders and More. Then the second that I have whip is Caramel Apple by Mill Hill. And here's where I am on this guy at this point. So I'll work on him some more. And then my third whip for yesterday, which I will get to. Yeah. Mill Hill kits are the hardest ones to put back into their little plastic baggies because they're little plastic baggies. And the pictures, like the covers and stuff, they're just perfectly inside them. Let's see. The third one for yesterday is an electronic pattern. It's Sherlock by Wee Little Stitches. And I am doing this on a 32 Belfast solo die from Silk Weavers that looks like blood-covered fabric. But there's my little Sherlock started in the middle, and I have a Sherlock and Watson needle minder from Minding My Minders. Then today's whip is actually the Snowdrop Fairy. So she'll get some work today, or as a whip, for 18 minutes, and then she'll get 30 minutes of work as part of the challenge piece. So she'll get quite a bit of love this week. Then for tomorrow, it's an electronic pattern. When I started the pattern, it was called Crafter's Manifesto. I think the name may have changed, but on my pattern it still says Crafter's Manifesto. And it is by Satsuma Street. I'll put a link to it below. I am doing this on a 32 Belfast solo die from Silk Weavers. Here, it's Liberty at this point, but it'll say Liberty. I think it's Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Craftiness, I think is what it says. Here's the color of the fabric back here. It's a nice dark royal blue. But, yeah, a lot of back stitching on this one. And then my minder, ooh, bright. My minder is a little needle minder from Minding My Minders. Whoa. I blame the really nasty day outside. Then on February 8th, we have 1. All the rest of this week is just 1, which, so I had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, only 9 this week, plus 2 holdovers, that's 11. I worked on 21 whips last week. I think I can do it this week. For the 8th, it is All You Need Is Love by Janlin. And here's where I am on this at this point. Another day of Black Ada. Woo! But there's love and a little bit around it, so I'll get some more of the words done, hopefully. Maybe some more of the back stitching. And my minder is a little love needle minder from Delicious Threads. I did switch out the floss, so I'm using B5200 instead of the floss that it came with. Or maybe just white. Just white, not B5200. Then on the 9th, from World of Cross Stitching number 196, Joan Elliott's Gingerbread House. Sorry, it's not completely even like that. And I am doing this one on 32 Opal Lugana in Midnight Tryst from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. Not much done on it at this point. It's a pretty midnight, sparkly midnight blue. There's a little bit done on it at this point. Oh, good Lord. With a little penguin needle minder from Delicious Threads. I will get the lighting issue resolved for next time. I am really sorry. Then on the 10th, it is Floss Fairy by Nora Corbett. And I am doing this one on 28 Cashel and Seaside Melody from Silk Weavers. And here is where I am on it at this point. Just a little bit of her skirt is done for now. And my minder is a little blingy bobbin needle minder that I got from Nifty Needle Nannies. It came as a kit. I'm using the kit floss, but obviously not the kit fabric. And then my last whip for this upcoming week is Bluebird Santa by Sandra Cozzolino from Mill Hill. And here's where I am on it at this point. He's got his coat I'm working on. My minder is a little gingerbread K needle minder from No Name Needle Minders. So those are my really brightly lit up, screwed up lighting stuff for this week. Like I said, I worked on 21 whips last week. I have way less than that this week, so I should be able to get all of my whips done, which means then hopefully I should be able to get some good progress on my sals done and a few other pieces that I have been neglecting, like the gifts. What is it about? I'm sure I'm not the only person who has felt this. But I like making, because this is now really bothering me. Sorry, everybody. Okay, let's go to there. Come on. Oh, well, just forget it at this point. I like stitching gifts for people. Most people in my family and the people that I give gifts to appreciate gifts. But what is it about stitching gifts that makes it just adds this level of, I love the pieces that I'm working on, but I don't want to work on them because they're gifts, which makes no sense. And I know I'm not the only one that feels that. I don't understand it. It's like Flosstube itchy nose. It's just stuff that happens. It doesn't make sense. Stashquisitions, I only have one thing this week. It is my Fabric of the Month from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, or Fabrics by Stephanie. I think she's changed her name to now. This is called Colonial Parchment. It's a beautiful neutral. And this is 28 Joblin that I got. Fat quarter. It is gorgeous. It's a beautiful neutral. I will likely be obtaining more at some point. All right. So the needle minders, do I have them over here? Where did I put them? Okay, the needle minders are not in my easy reach right now, so sorry. But I do have the winners. So if you are a winner, I need you to contact me either through YouTube messaging or on Facebook. You can message me there and let me know. But I'm going to need your mailing address so that I can send these in the mail to you. All right, the person who won the pumpkin with the red nose is Sherry McNeely. The pumpkin with a bow was won by Raffaella Gillespie. Floss Bobbin was by Darla Beckerson. The pumpkin cart was won by Nancy Roser, R-O-S-E-R, sorry. The sand dollar was won by Kathy Lake. The fleur de lis by Tamra Hunt. And the flower by Tisha Sams. So congratulations to all of you who won. Like I said, just send me a message either here on YouTube or on through Facebook so I can get those mailed out to you, and I'll let you know when I put them in the mail. Other than that, that's really all I've got for you this week. I will hopefully be back on Monday because I prefer doing this on Monday rather than on Tuesdays. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful stitchy week, and I'll see you next time.